So some of the problems is keeping busy in the summer. So how have we come up with an idea to make sure we're busy in the summer? So in 2011, I realised that we need to build. This is slightly not related to why we do it, but I'll explain it a little bit more now. So in 2011 time, we went dead. The recession was hitting hard. People say we was out of it, but around 2010, 2011 was a very, very bad time for M&R. So we set up MR Home Care. So MR Home Care was our little golden nugget. Nobody really knew about it. I never advertised it. I didn't really tell anybody. So we would be signing people up into care plans because I wanted something that would keep us recession-proof. And I've said that from the very, very start of that recession, because when I went through it, I lost a hell of a lot of money. So we started to do service plans, etc. But what we did with those service plans, we made sure, because it was over 12 months, that we did, like British Gas do, we did all the servicing in the summer. And we've got thousands on our books that we do servicing. So the service engineers throughout the summer are always busy. There is no issue with that. And they carry, just as the installation lads do, they all play the important bits. They carry each other sometimes when we're not as busy on one project on the other. So that's what we did. We also looked at how could we get, bigger things like universities and stuff like that, which we do. We have got a couple, not big, not massive amounts, but again, we try to focus on them through summer. We then introduced like power flushing, where we could go out and we could power flush central heating systems in the summer, prepare your system ready for winter. And we encourage people also to get boilers done in the summer, because they will get a discount, and that keeps us busy. We are 25 boilers up this year on the fact that the market's down. I think it's 27%? I couldn't tell you the exact figures, but it's definitely down. So we're up. So we've done pretty well in May. We've had a good May. It's been, it's been steady. So these months now are critical, because if you're banking, I don't know, 120 grand of say net profit out of your £1 million, or 100 grand or whatever it is, you need to look at the erosion points. So like if you're busy throughout the 8 months a year and then slack, which we have been, we're a lot better now because we're getting onto it and we're nailing it a lot better. Ultimately, you've got to look at how can we do it. So we got into air conditioning. We subcontract that out at the minute because we've not got enough demand for it. However, the lads are all booked in, ready to go and do the courses. They can actually fit the air conditioning, to be fair, but they need their F-gas, and we can't do that. It's a bit like gas safe. So currently, we're subcontracting it, because I certainly don't want to go out fitting it. I will do the course, but I've just not got the time to do it. The lads really want to do it because they enjoy doing installations and things like that. Now, the other things we thought is, what other things can we do in the summer? So we looked at underfloor heating, bigger projects. So we did a huge one last summer. We did a plant room as well. So we look at this time of year, we'll contact businesses that we've done work for. We'll put everything off. So we'll go out and we'll get a limp top over the winter, and then we'll schedule something in for the summer. If it's like a full TRV replacement in a doctor's surgery that's got 50 of them, we've just priced one of those up. I know it's only 3 days work, I understand that, but ultimately you've got to look at all these situations. How can we keep busy in the summer? Now, there's a couple of ways you can do it, is what I've just mentioned. Now, the costs you can put down. So our lads, they will be paid by the hour. So in the winter, they absolutely smash it. And in the summer, they can have the time off, so I don't pay them if they're not working. In fact, they brought that to the table. I never mentioned that. I just thought, well, yeah, that's a good idea. And when we work it out, you'll not believe this, but it's not much out difference. They do end up with a little bit more money, but it gives them more of freedom. So through the winter, it's miserable, so they don't mind working. Through the summer, they can have better days. However, this summer, looking at this month's, it's May, looking at this month's payroll today that's just gone out, the lads have been busy, because I can tell by the wage slips and what the hours they've done. I've had a look over them. So whatever we're doing is working. So we're trying to make sure that we don't have a dip. Another tip is, if you've got to go cheap in the summer on some of the installations, it's better to lose £100 on a job than lose everything and got your costs for your company for that van, which might be £400. So you've got to look at things like that. How can I... So a lot of the companies are competitive at a loss, because they know they'd rather lose £100 than lose £600 that day just to keep the lads in work, because the time of the heyday is seasonal for us. Now, air conditioning is kicking off. It's still at the early stages and days. There's a lot of companies out there, air conditioning engineers particular, not charging enough, because they're used to getting 300 quid on a job on a site. They're putting 300 quid on top of it. They're not thinking like a business, so they're doing it way too cheap, because ultimately they can consistently do that, but they're never going to get any bigger, and they're only going to make a wage. So we advise people to have a look at the prices. And again, if we go out to put an air conditioning in or a boiler, we will turn up. We're not a fit and forget company. We will come back and we will fix that product and put it right. A lot of the people that are putting them in will not come back. get your manufacturer, you just get kicked and basically left out in the cold, really, or left out in the warm in the summer, whatever you want to call it. But ultimately, you've got to think, why is the company dearer than the one-man band? Now, I'm not knocking all one-man bands because you obviously got to start somewhere, but you've just got to be wary because my work ethics was I went through a lot of situations where I was going back and I was pulling me out. I'm thinking, I can't do this plumbing. A lot of people give up and I understand why, but you've got to keep pushing through that. So it's very important to make sure in the summer months you've got a plan. You've got a marketing strategy. You've got something to bring that work in because if you can lose £1,000 each month, that's cool because you're making the other months. But if you're losing £30,000 a month because you've got no work for your lads, you've got a problem. So I'd urge everybody to look at the summer months because this, regardless of what people say, is a seasonal business. Going back to if you're doing bathrooms, you're doing everything, you're pretty much busy all year, but majority of the time, and I hate to say that, you're a busy fool. So ultimately, just have a look at how you can keep yourself busy. Look at service plans. Not for everybody. Look at my servicing. Can I do that all in the summer? Can I push it to the summer so that I can keep busy? So I'm doing all my installation, and what it does, it frees up your time for installing. You don't want to be going out servicing boilers in the winter if you're an installer, but you won't mind doing the servicing in the summer because ultimately you won't have as many installations on. So you've got to look at how can you do that and what's the best option for you, your business and your team. The girls in the office, I'm going to quickly touch on them. So what the girls in the office do, they'll do stuff to get working. So when it's not as busy for them, they'll concentrate on marketing campaigns, backlinking customers, getting back in touch with customers, warming them back up, re-engaging them into stuff, offering them home cares, all these things in your team when you've got, and also another thing, all these things in your team, sorry, I digress a little bit then, but all these things in your team, you've got to basically make sure that everyone's doing it because I find that if you're working with your team and it's summer, especially the office, they get a bit bored and you get a bit like lackadaisical and, chitty chatty, and they'd much rather be busy, our team, than actually being like that. So we've come up with ways. Also, we'll have a look at all the old debts that we've got. How can we keep busy? Can we start chasing these customers now for these money? We might get £1,000 in out of 5 that we've lost, but at least we'll get something in. So it's all about how can we keep busy, because keeping busy through those 3 or 4 months time where you're down is where you will lose your money. That's where you'll get hit hard. You'll go on holiday, your team will be going on holiday because most heating companies, everybody has it off in the summer. Bits and bats through the winter, but ultimately mainly the summer. So you take advantage of that. Make sure, right lads, can you take your holidays and girls in the summer, because in the winter I need you in. Now, you can't expect them to if they've got a wedding or something like that. You've got to. It's just all about thinking out the box. How can we keep busy, and how can we make that 100 grand a month turnover? If it drops to 50, how can we still make that profitable? Because the way to do it is look at what you can afford to lose. Look at that structure, and if you actually make money in that time, like we're currently doing, which is amazing, is how have I done it? And that's how I've done it. I've looked at how can we keep busy. When you are busy, you need to still keep marketing, hammering marketing. When you are not busy, you need to market more. These are just my opinions. I hope these tips will help you. And again, if you've got any questions or anything, just reach out to me, because I've done this for years and years and years, and I'm only just about getting my head around it now. And that's because I'm part of mentorships. I'm going meeting other heating companies. We're speaking. I've got them on speed dial. There's so much information out there. And I believe that heating engineers want us to do good because we are a dying trade. There is plenty of work out there for us all. Another thing which I've noticed is that, especially around my area, I think the prices could go up a little bit, but we're all scared of putting them up, because if we put them up a little bit, that would compensate for the summertime again. So it's again a pricing structure thing, but you can only charge what the local market will pay you. So ultimately, I hope this advice has been good for you. Take care, guys.